Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's class. So, we are doing our marketing mastermind virtually today, and I'm Jules. I am the other half of the Julia Designs team. And yeah, we're doing a marketing mastermind today virtually, and we're focusing on our 33 touch, our digital touch plan in Command today. So, we're just going to get started in just a minute just to allow people to get signed in. If you cannot hear me or see my screen once I begin, just let me know. You should be able to in just a minute. At that point, if you can't, just feel free to put it in the chat or feel free to unmute yourself anytime during this call today, to ask any questions that you have. And for those of you who are already signed in today, a couple of things that we're going to pull up for today's class, if you want to go ahead and pull them up, is going to be Command, of course, but then we're also going to dive into a little bit of Canva today, or KW's Canva. So that can be signed into at canva.kw.com. And we're also going to use Gemini a little bit because with your KW emails, as you know, that's like a Google Workspace account. So you do have access to a Gemini account as well. So we'll use that a little bit today, especially for the caption build outs. So those are just a few tabs that you can have open. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to share my screen now. And yes, if you cannot see my screen, just let me know. And um, And let me know if you can't hear me as well. So to start off, just to kind of introduce myself, I'm Jules. Yes, I am one half of the Julia Designs team, the in-house marketing team here at KW Ballantyne. And for anything I'm going over today, if you would like to book a one-on-one appointment with us for 30 minutes, you can do so right on the KWB Resources website by clicking Marketing Help in the top right corner or the middle of the screen. And that's going to bring you right to our calendar so that you can book with us. So we do have options to book with us in person and virtually. And we can break down anything with your marketing as well as command. So marketing and command is our specialty, so we can help really dive into that side of things. So like I mentioned, a big part of today, we're going to be actually in command for our marketing. And today's class is really all about achieving our 33 touch plan. So that MREA model, having that 33 touch plan is just so big for your business to have the opportunity to really build it up. And Command gives you really the tools to do this in a efficient way. So one thing we're going to talk about today is the monthly neighborhood nurture email. And that's an automated email right through Command that sends them super valuable information either once or twice a month. So just with that email itself, depending on the frequency, you're looking at 12 to 24 touches in a year already. Then we're also going to mix in some social media touches to really talk about our digital marketing. And we also like to focus on email and social media because those are the free marketing channels. So for today, we're going to start with the monthly neighborhood nurture email. So if you guys have not seen that email before, it's really cool. So I'm going to show you an example of what that is, and then we're going to talk through the steps of actually setting that up. So the monthly neighborhood nurture email looks like this. So this agent has me set up on this plan so that I have an example to show you here. And this gets sent automatically once a month to me. So what is sent is right at the top. It's branded with your information up top. Then it even customizes that a little further. So it says hi and my first name right in there. And then it gives me a nice breakdown of the current area that I live in. So it gives me a CMA report of this area. I can see properties that are for sale of where I live. And even when I click to explore more, I am then taken right to his website as well. He's retired as an agent. But when we click on this button, it goes right to your website with more information about that neighborhood. So they can see what locals have to say about it. They can even calculate their commute time to work and see nearby schools. So all of this is auto built for you and auto sent for you, but you do need just a couple contact information, pieces of contact information to achieve this email. So of course, since it's sent as an email, one contact information you must have is an email address. But then you also need to either have a address. So if you have a primary address of a contact, Command automatically knows what neighborhood they live in. So for this example, he had my home address, and so it gave me a report of that neighborhood based off my home address. However, if you do not know their address, or let's say that you're talking to a buyer who says they're interested in XYZ neighborhood, you can also manually add neighborhoods to contact records as well. So let's talk through the how of that. So back in Command, and please stop me if you have any questions at all as I'm going through. I'll try to keep my eye out on the chat. So in Command, I'm going to actually, before we jump into the contact section, I just want to review everyone's settings real fast. And we can do that by clicking our name in the top right corner and going to settings. Now, for this email, the main setting I'm checking here is actually near the very bottom. Under email services, we're going to see this command email section. Hmm. And just making sure that it says connected for everyone is basically what we're looking out for. It should, but if you have any, like anyone says disconnected, if you send an email to support@scottlroymarketing.com, they can get that fixed up for you. So just make sure it says connected here. All right, now we can jump into the contact section, which is going to be the second icon on the left-hand side. And as we're learning this menu bar, if you click that KW in the top left, that's going to expand those out so you can see what those actually are until you're familiar with them. So we're going to click on contacts. And then for this example, if you do not have yourself already in your command database, let's do that example right now by clicking create contact in the top right. Really, I'm trying to show you how command populates the neighborhood if you have an address in there. So even if you have any kind of example contact you want to practice with, I do recommend practicing with yourself so that you can send this email to yourself and you can see this in full. So I'm just going to add myself as a test here and add in the contact information I need to have. So I need to have an email. And then the other information I have to have is that neighborhood. Under additional contact information, that's where you're going to find the address. And just a heads up, no matter where your contacts are, so even not in the local MLS, you Command has access to the entire country. So wherever they are living, they're going to get hyper local neighborhood information based off that. Even if they're in California or Texas, just it is able to send that neighborhood info wherever they are. And then we can click create once you have the email and the address in there. And again, that address is under additional contact information. And then click create. Oh, I might already, yeah. If you already have, so this is a good example for duplicates. So command does recognize duplicates based off primary email or phone number. So if you try to enter the same email or phone number into your database that already exists, it will just skip that contact. So you don't need to worry about duplicates in your account. All right. So once I create this contact, it goes ahead and pops us into the contact record itself. So we can see all these details. So for example, we have our email up here. And then based off the address I put in here, it knew this primary neighborhood to put me in. So in order to, now that this contact record has both the things that are required for the smart plan, the last step would be to just add them to the smart plan. So they have a neighborhood, they have an email. So all I would have to do to add one contact to the smart plan is on the right-hand side, I could click on smart plans, click to add to smart plan. And typically I just search by nurture or I'm sorry, neighborhood nurture. And you have two options that send the exact same info, just a difference of frequency. So we either have that sending every single month or bi-weekly. Just as a strategy, usually the hotter leads or the shorter term, like looking to buy within a year, the bi-weekly works great. If they're a longer term lead and not looking to buy maybe anytime soon, that monthly neighborhood nurture tends to be a good frequency. So all we would need to do from here is select our frequency and then choose to either start that now or even on a specific date if you would like, and check this checkbox and confirm. And now this contact will receive that neighborhood email every single month forever, right? That's activated now forever. So that touch is just going out. And any further touches you're doing with this contact is just icing on the cake because we have this foundation now built out for us. Any questions on that I can help answer? I'm going to talk through a little bit more about this, like how to add multiple contacts to it, but just want to see if you have any questions in the chat before I move forward. All right. This is my favorite smart plan in there. It's just one that I truly like. I, again, like an agent set me up on it. And it's an email that I check every single month just because I'm curious on what's going on in my neighborhood. And wow, what a great way to brand yourself as a credible resource and a valuable resource at that, in an automated way. That's my kind of favorite way to do it. So before I move on to show you how we can add multiple contacts to the smart plan as well, this is also, though, where you could manually add neighborhoods to the contact record. So just to kind of go back to show the full process. So let's say I talked to a buyer in my database instead, and so that they told me that they were interested in, let's say, Hunter Oaks or Somerset. So what I could do for those kind of examples is instead I would search for that contact record. And if you click on their name, that's what's going to pop open this contact profile that we were looking at. And then here is where we can manually add those neighborhoods. So if I click on add neighborhood, I can type in the neighborhood names that they said they were interested in and actually add multiple neighborhoods to their contact record. And then that way, when they receive this email, they'll actually get multiple sections breaking down each neighborhood that they are interested in, and with a button to explore more from each neighborhood. So contacts can't have multiple neighborhoods on them. If you have any trouble finding a specific neighborhood, one near the bottom, like as you click your first neighborhood, you're going to get suggested nearby neighborhoods. But then you can also find on a map, you can also search this way as well. So like let's say I search for um, just to get me kind of in the city. As I zoom in, those green puzzle pieces begin to form, and when you hover over them, it's a different neighborhood. So you can kind of hover over and click on those neighborhoods that they say they're interested in and save. There you go. And then again, as long as they're on that smart plan, right, they're going to automatically receive neighborhood updates based off the neighborhoods that you select. The primary one will always be at the top, but then you can have multiple neighborhoods as well. Okay, awesome. So now let's talk through how, yeah, we can add contacts in bulk to the smart plan and how we can go ahead and identify which contact records are ready to be added to this smart plan so that we can just kickstart our marketing today. So let's go ahead and go back to our contacts. So we can either click on back to contacts or just click on contacts. And if you did search for that contact record, let's just go ahead and like clear our searches. So I'm just going to remove that search. And I have a smart view on, so I'm just going to change that back to all contacts. So if you have a default smart view on, we're just trying to look at all our contacts. So the first thing I'm going to do, so by default, typically command databases show only show 10 contact records at a time. I find it's easier to work with our database if we are looking at the max available, which is 500. So we can click show one of 10 at the bottom there and choose 500 to change that update. Now, if you would like that to stay that way every time you sign into command so that it's always showing 500 contacts at a time, all you would need to do is click on Save Changes next to Smart View if you're looking at 500. Like I already saved it, so I'm not going to get that option. But once you click Save Changes, that will be your default every time logging into command. And I would recommend that. Then we can also filter to show us who is able to be added to this specific smart plan. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to click on filters, the filters button. Then once we click on filters, we're actually going to get advanced. So we're going to click on the advanced button in the top right. And we're looking at this pop-up now. And let me know if I lose you at any point, I can repeat those steps again. So we clicked on filters, we click on advanced, and now we get this pop-up filter. So because we need an email and we have to have a neighborhood for this smart plan to work, we're just going to search by those contacts that fit that criteria. So first, I'm going to search by primary email, and then I'm going to change this drop down to is not empty because then it's going to filter for people that do have a primary email. But we also need a neighborhood for this smart plan. So we're going to click to add filter. And we're going to search by neighborhoods. And same thing, we're going to say is not empty. So this would be anyone with an email and with a neighborhood that is going to be pulled up once we click apply. And based off how clean your database might be, you might get a few here, you might get a lot. Either way, the steps are going to be the same in regards to now adding them to the smart plan. Because that's the final step. So having an email and having a neighborhood is great, but then activating the smart plan or putting that contact on the smart plan is the final step to get those automations to start. So Once you apply those filters, the next steps we're going to do is we're going to click the top checkbox. So that top checkbox selects all. So even if you have one or 100, that top checkbox selects all. Then we're going to find bulk action options in the bottom right. So there's tons of things we can do in bulk, but one of them is going to be add to smart plan. So top checkbox to select all and add to smart plan. And then we're searching for that smart plan again, which is I search by neighborhood nurture or neighborhood. And this is where I'm able to select that frequency that I'm wanting. So just for this example to show you, I can select the bi-weekly one. That would send every other week with that neighborhood information. And if I wanted that to start on a specific date, let's say for this, I can choose that from this calendar. So you just have to click on that calendar there, and you're able to select which date that's sent on. Just check the checkbox and click confirm. And again, that's activated then in your business forever. Any questions on that setup? I'm happy to repeat any steps again or answer any questions you might have. But yeah, this is my favorite smart plan in Command. It's just so valuable and just, finding that contact information like their address and their email. I know that can be a little tedious, but that's why it has such a big long-term effect on your business because if you can do that hard work of getting that and collecting it into Command, then we can set them up on all kinds of different smart plans to help automate these touches. And the monthly neighborhood nurture is just one example of that. In regards to actually finding the primary address for your contact records, like let's say one day you time block and you're really going to focus on addresses. I think one, it would be a good use of your time because of this email that can be sent. Another perk of having their address in there is you can also send postcards right to their mailbox. So right from commands campaigns for this contact record, if I wanted to send them a happy birthday postcard or a Christmas postcard, since I have their primary address in here, I can do that. I can target my database with a postcard. And same kind of thing, they do not need to be local. They can be anywhere in the US and it will still send a postcard to wherever they live. So definitely worth kind of going through your contacts and cleaning them up and adding some addresses in there. The how, I mean, the recommended way, of course, would be to like contact them just as an additional touch. If you call them or you email them, it could look like, hey, I'm just trying to send you, valuable neighborhood emails. Would that be of interest to you? If so, just reply with your address and I can get that started for you. So just transparently telling them the value that you'll provide them. But then another way to go about it is also through the MLS. So through the tax records is what I hear. That if they're a homeowner, you're able to find their address right through the tax records. I think it's called like Realist. And I also heard that in those tax records, if they have their home anniversary in there as well. So even if you did not buy or sell them that home, you can add that home anniversary to their contact record. So just to show you where that is, so under edit and about, you're going to see two key dates. One is a birthday and one is a home anniversary. Even if you did not buy or sell them that house, if you see their home anniversary in the tax records, I'd recommend just going ahead and adding that in there. Basically, what the system can do is just remind you to reach out on that important key date. And it's a great relevant touch as a realtor, but also it can help put you ahead of their last realtor because I bet they don't have a system in place to remind them of this key date. So it might be a great way to get ahead of them in that way. All right. So now we're going to move on to the social media side of things and focus on those touches as well, since we've got our foundation in place here with that monthly neighborhood nurture now. Before I do that, feel free to put in the chat if you have any questions at all I could answer on the monthly neighborhood nurture. And hopefully maybe somebody you either started yourself on that plan or you've started some contacts on that plan. That would be an exciting foundation for your business. All right. So next, yes, we're going to jump into the social media side of things right from command. So from command, what we can do is we can do a few different things with social media and command. But one we're going to focus on today is scheduling out posts in advance. So from command's campaign section, that's where we're going to primarily be. We can schedule posts out. So, for example, if we took on the first of each month and we did our entire month of social media scheduled out, or you at the beginning of 2026, you went ahead and scheduled out all your holiday posts because you know exactly what date that's going to fall on anyway, so that when that date comes around, you don't have the mental load of, going to post out on social media on that day. It's already handled. For our clients, for our social media clients, I do this strategy as well. I time block and do the entire month in one day so that if anything extra I'm doing on social media, right, it's just icing on the cake because it's almost automated the stuff I did during my time block. So scheduling out is a great, like more efficient use of your time for social media because I know, with creating social media and posting it, that can sometimes take a long time. But the workflow of creating it together at one time and then scheduling out, I've found has been a lot more efficient than trying to think of something new each day. So in command, first, we're going to check on settings, and then we're going to go through the process. So again, our settings is up by our name, and we click on settings. Then for class today, the specific social media applications that we're focusing on are the ones that say post scheduling after. So you'll see that, for example, there's two Facebooks, one's for Ads Manager and one's for post scheduling. In order to schedule posts out in advance, this is the one that we need to have connected up. And then if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see there's additional options. So you can also do it for Instagram and Twitter, but they all have to be business accounts. So with social media posting, this is always posting on your business accounts. So you have to have a Facebook business page. And for example, with like Instagram, that has to be switched over to a professional account and linked to your Facebook page. If you have any trouble like connecting this up, feel free to book a virtual appointment with me. That's something that I specialize in and I can definitely help you with. So when you're booking with us on the marketing help, you'll see two options here. If you have any trouble with the connection side of Facebook and Instagram, if you book a virtual appointment with me, I'll be able to fix that up for you and walk you through how to connect that up. So if you have any trouble today, just book an appointment and we can do it together. If you do have a business Facebook page, for example, if you click on connect account to the far right of the Facebook post scheduling, it's going to pop open a window to log into your Facebook account where you can do so, and that's what's going to connect it up here. And it's just something that you need to do one time, and then it's going to be good in command going forward. All right, once that's connected up, We are going to navigate into the campaign section just to start this off. So the campaign section is the megaphone icon. And then before we jump into Canva, I just love to show this in case anyone hasn't seen it already. When we come to campaigns and on this main dashboard here, we're always going to see this neighborhood video right under quick posts. And it's pretty cool. All you have to do is click this share icon on the bottom right of it and search for the neighborhood that you want to create this video for and select it. Then click next. Then all this information pulls in for you automatically. This is pulling from the Nextdoor app. Of course, with your real estate expertise, feel free to eye that over, make sure everything's looking good. But essentially, there shouldn't be anything you have to update here. Then your branding information and the market center information is all pulling from your marketing profile, which again should be set up for you. So there shouldn't be anything you have to change here except just click next. And then it generates this great video very quickly, and it's awesome. It's a short video, so I'll show it to you once it loads. So what it creates for us. And it's all branded to you at the end. So just like that, right? All we had to do was just think of a neighborhood name that we wanted to generate this for, click next a couple times, and it just generates this for us. And video always goes a really long way, just because now with like TikTok and Reels is now trying to compete with it and YouTube Shorts. So since all these platforms are trying to compete with each other, they are pushing videos now more than ever. So videos are a great way to show up for quote unquote like unmets for free. So, and this right through command is an easy way to go about it. So let's say like every Friday you kind of tour the Charlotte area and show your sphere different parts of the greater Charlotte area and different neighborhood videos, you can do that. From here, all we have to do is click save and post. And it's going to bring us to this social post builder where we just need to give it a caption. And then you can either schedule that post out for a specific day and time, or you can publish that out immediately. I will say with these neighborhood videos in particularly, because so you'll see here, like it pulls the data from the date you create it. So these are a little less schedule out in advance because of that, because they're pulling the data from the day you create it. So for that, you would either want to publish immediately or maybe just schedule out for the next day just so that data stays true. We can also save this as a draft if we want to come back and work on it later. And just to show you where we would find our drafts. So when we can't come to campaigns here, we are brought to this like overarching campaigns dashboard. However, if we click on social posts up here on the white toolbar, that's going to bring us to our like social post dashboard. So as we start scheduling things out, for example, we're going to be able to see what's upcoming. But we're also able to click over to drafted post and see our drafts here, click the three dots and edit those further. And yeah, like as we are scheduling those out, for example, we can change this week view to a month. So we'll be able to see like which days we already have posted on and which days might need a post. So that organization part of it is good too. We're going to do an example post today using Canva and just to show you how to kind of do the full process of scheduling out a post in Command. And yeah, usually the first step to get started is actually creating the content. And now with our partnership with Canva, that's what I usually use is our Canva account. So if you are new to the Canva account, if you go to canva.kw.com, that's going to be the portal to log into our KW Canva account. And it's simply going to ask for your command login. So the same login you use for command, you would sign in to this account as well. And it will bring you to this homepage here. All right. So on our homepage, the first thing we're going to do in order to see other templates, so by default, we're always going to be looking at like our past projects we worked on in Command. But we can click on templates at the top here in order to search for Canva templates that we want to use. Then based off what your goal is or what you might be looking for today's example, I'm going to use a generic like real estate tips, but maybe you're trying to do like, Christmas or holidays. Of course, just search by what you're looking for and click enter. And then you'll find tons and tons of different templates ready to use right in Canva that look amazing. That's what gets me excited. It also gets me a little bit overwhelmed because there are just so many options for us, but that's a good problem to have. So we can, if we'd like to, for the category, we can also filter these down so that we're just looking at, let's say, Instagram post size graphics. Then for today, let's just click on whichever example pops out to you the most. And all we have to do is click on that design and then click on customize this template. I would recommend definitely eyeing over the tips before, posting it out. Canva, people who create Canva pieces are more like designers than they are realtors. So your real estate expertise is definitely something to, interject here. The first step I typically do is in the top right corner, I just give it a name so I can find it later. Then, depending on if we do need to change some verbiage, working with these designs are pretty user friendly and it is pretty similar to our old design section in Command, although I think a little more user friendly. We can double click in any text box to change what's in there. And what's really cool is we can brand this KW with just a couple clicks. So to do that, we're going to navigate over to brand on the left-hand side. And it should just go ahead and pop open like it did for me here. So it should just go ahead and give me my logos and color templates, everything. All we have to do is to brand this KW is just click shuffle or click this color palette. And if you click it a couple times, it's going to give you a few different options. So depending on what you like best, like I like that one, I think. Ooh, I like that one. So if you click on it a few times, it's going to just cycle through some options until you find one you like. But you can edit that, further if you would like as well. So let's say I want these circles to be red If I click on that circle, I'm going to get this top toolbar up here that I can make further edits to it. So for example, the color, I can click on that. It's pulling document colors right on top so we can easily match the red that's already on this design. And it's a matter of just going through and touching it and clicking that. Right? We can really customize this however we would like. Something to look out for on Canva designs is this really great site branding. They just kind of use it as a placeholder. You can simply click on it, either click the trash can icon to delete it, or click delete on your keyboard to delete it. Now, in regards to our logo, compliance-wise, you only need to have our KWB logo on listing posts. So they are required on any property post or listing post that you post on social media. For tips or holiday posts or anything like that, compliance-wise, you technically do not need the logo on there. I would maybe recommend putting a logo on there simply for credibility. People know that KW, logo. They know the KW company, so it adds an extra credibility to your business by including the logo in there. But compliance-wise, you need to have them on listing posts, and other posts you do not have to have them on. Then finally, if let's say we want to change this photo in here, you do have a bunch of stock photos to pull in right in Canva. So in Elements, say we want to find a luxury home, for example, we can search that. And then it gives you kind of different categories that to search that under. And if you're looking for photos, you could click on like see all here, or you could click on photos up here to filter. And then based off the one you like, you can click and drag and drop that over to the design. And it looks like this is a photo of the um, phone, so I wouldn't recommend it for this design, but in general, that's how you can change out the photos. Okay, once we like our design, next we're going to now schedule this out in Command. So we're going to go first download it to our computer by clicking Share in the top right, do Download. And PNG works great for social media. You can keep that as PNG and just click download. And that just saved it onto our computer. Next, we can go back into Command. There we go. And there's two ways that we can start this process. One, we can either go up to Create Campaign and do Social Post, or if we're looking at the campaign social post dashboard and looking at this month here, and let's say we want to post on a specific day. Let's say we want to post on Saturday. If we click on that date, it's going to open the same social post builder. The only difference is it automatically selects that date for you, what you clicked. So same kind of deal though. I just want to do those steps again. In campaigns, let's say we went there for the first time. If we go to create campaign, top right, and social post, you'll see it brought us to the exact same spot. It just is going to want us to manually put in that date now. If you also have your Instagram account connected, just make sure on this drop down that you select your Instagram account as well if you want to post to both of those. Then in the content section, we can click on that little picture icon next to the smiley face to add our media. And then we're going to click on Browse Files to pull in our design that we worked on. It will allow you to do like this crop, but since we already filtered that like in Canva itself, we'll be good here. So all we have to do is click Crop Image. And then we'll see a preview start to build out for us on the right-hand side so we can see what that looks like. Next, we're going to give it a caption as well. So for this, I'm going to use Gemini. I'm not too good with captioning things, so I usually use AI for that. And with our Google accounts, like with your KW email, that's a Google account. Gemini, we can use for our AI if you would like. And for this prompt, I usually start my prompts as act as a real estate professional so that I give it a framework to think in and write a social media caption for a post about quick tips for buying a home. The more info that you can give AI, usually the better the results. So for example, this gave me my tips. So and what I like about AI too is that you can write back to it. Keep an intro and call to action only. Wow, see, AI is so good at it. So it gives you a few options that you want that you could use. It even gives you like the hashtags to use. So, totally read it over always and make sure it sounds like you won, but also that you can check your DMs if that's something that it's prompting for here. You can always, again, write back to it and say, change the call to action and make it put anything you want. So really work with AI back and forth until you get the right caption for you. So I'm going to copy that. Oops. Make sure you don't add the question back to it. And go back into command and paste it in here. Love it. Then there is an extra compliance section. But again, like I said, we don't like if we were posting a listing post and we needed to include our DBA logo, we could simply give it a check here and it would add that to our design for us for compliance. But like I mentioned, this is not a listing post, so we don't need it. Then the final step would simply be to schedule this out for a specific day or time. So it does mention that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings are the best time to post. I kind of recommend thinking about kind of your social media schedule. Typically, the times to post, yeah, are the mornings, just because a lot of people check their phones first thing in the morning. Another ideal time is lunchtime when people check their phones and right before bed. I will say that every single audience I see is very different. I have some clients that their optimal posting time is 6 in the morning, and then some clients that are 9 p.m. at night. So your audience is going to engage with it differently. The rule of thumb typically is trial and error. So, if you post a post at 8 a.m. and it gets a lot of engagement, then that might be a good sign that that's an optimal time for your audience. So try things out and test things out and see if they work. And if they do, repeat. If they don't, try something new. Any questions I can go through with the social media side or scheduling out social media in command as well?
Jules, this is Jackie Emanuel. Thank you so much for this. This is amazing, absolutely amazing.
Hey, I'm
I,
so glad.
I do have a question. Can you do polls as well through this, or is this just like a flat post? You know what I mean? Like, can you do like a check here, like a poll? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't do that through here. But the only thing I could kind of is like the only engagement driven thing is more like comment below XYZ, for it.
Yeah.
But you're right that there's not a poll option for this.
That's a great idea. All right, awesome. Thank you so much. And you said we have a Gemini account through KW, or just that's for anybody?
Yes, through KW, like if you sign in with your KW email,
Mhm.
You get access to Gemini, but any Gmail that you have, you would have access to it.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming. Thanks for your question too. And yeah, let me know if you have any other questions. With the last little bit of time here, I just want to show you a cool little Canva tool feature that we recently came across um, in regards to videos. And like I said, yeah, video is going a long way nowadays. So it might be helpful for your business just to see this and then maybe brainstorm best ways to actually implement it in your business. So in Canva, so I'm still in like the KW Canva. But when we come to the home page here, there's also this option up here for Canva AI. And it's pretty cool from what I've seen, but I've only done a little dabble in it. So I'm interested to see, how you guys apply it to your business, if you do. Let's see if it loads for me. Oh, goodness. Okay. Okay. So what it can do, it can just like, it can create like photos and different social media stuff like through AI, but it can also create videos. Yes. So like I clicked on this filter thing to pop this bottom part open, and I can click on video clip here. And then I can describe the idea that I want to create a video clip on, or I could even ask AI to create an AI prompt for the video. So like let's say I want to um and give me a prompt for Canva AI that would create a social media post to get more business for my real. Um, Maybe, yeah, I could probably work on that prompt a little more. The more info that you give it. So if you give your niche, you give your brand, or maybe even your big why, those kind of things can really help build out a prompt that can make it way better than what I'm giving it right now. But at least, yeah, those are great things to at least build off of. So let's say I want to do like the high-end luxury one. I'm going to put that in, copy it, paste it in here. And then fingers crossed. I've only played with this a couple times, so we'll see how the results go. But it's still a pretty cool, like ideal idea that we could create kind of any video that we're really looking for to really tailor that to our business and to our niche. And now I believe with these Canva videos that they do not add text to it by default just because AI kind of struggles with spelling. But when it does generate, it allows you to like pull the video into a Canva design so that you can add text, you can add graphics, you can really like customize it even more, which is pretty cool too. Oh, dang it. Okay, well, um, I don't want to like show it again for it not to work, but it is kind of cool if you guys play with it and you guys get something cool. I'd love to see what it comes up with, because when I did practice before, it was pretty cool. Sorry it didn't work this time, but yeah, you can download it and kind of do the same steps of pulling it right through Command if you want to schedule that out in advance. And I just find it, yeah, hugely helpful if you do time block at the beginning of the month and you start scheduling things out. It just becomes so organized when you're able to see like when things are already posted. And then that it's really about the mental load of social media for the most part, because if you're posting what you're doing day to day, that's a great way for your like a good use of your time on social media, as well as like engaging. And these kind of filler pieces are great for more your credibility and to make it look like you're an active realtor when people are searching you up. So, the social media content you're posting have kind of two different goals, and this is one half of the goal that you be able to accomplish. Um, right from command. Any other questions as we wrap up today's class? I'm happy to go over anything else or answer any questions. And just a reminder, if you do want to book a one-on-one appointment with us with anything I went over today or anything else in command, we are here and happy to help. If you just go to marketing help in the KWB resources website, that'll bring you right to our calendar so that you can book with us whenever you're available. So yeah, thank you so much for coming today. Yay, I'm so glad it was helpful. And yeah, just let us know how we can help in your real estate business in 2026. And our next class will be, well, we won't have next class next Thursday because that's Christmas. And Merry Christmas, everyone. But we'll be back in January with more marketing mastermind classes. I hope you all have an awesome holiday. And thanks for coming.
Thank you, Jules, and Merry Christmas.
Merry
Merry
Christmas. Thank
Christmas.
you.
Take
Thanks,
care.
thanks, guys. Bye.